Good afternoon, beloved. This is Apostle Trotter coming from the home office of GHMI Fivefold Fellowship. And I wanted to come and give you an update on what was going on. The last time I made a statement is that we wanted to stop the violence, bring the peace, and find a solution where we can find a calm in our community. Well, after going down there firsthand at Ground Zero, viewing the destruction of the Quick Trip store, talking with the patriots and the community leaders there, and listening to the reports that are coming out of the police department. It is my um, ministerial opinion is that this police officer has definitely used excessive force in this matter, and this young man should not have died this way and in this manner. We're calling as a community that the officials in the police department begin to do what they should have done if it was reversed. If this young man would have committed such a crime as this, they would have already charged him with murder and he would have been facing the death penalty. Although, as a minister, I cannot call for the death penalty of anyone because death and life is in the power of God's hands. But I believe that because of the tragicness of this case and because of what he done, or this police officer done, that is in my opinion that he should be tried under the same laws that he enforces. And and because he did not leave Brown with the dignity to and leave him with the ability to be tried under the judicial laws of this state, then I think he should go through the penal system and be tried by those same laws. It is my opinion also that the police department needs to stop covering up information. That's only enacting more rioting. That's only enacting more hard feelings and also causing the communities not to heal. It's time for the people to rise up and band together and begin to call on our politicians and our state officials and our state authorities to call for the immediately separation of this policeman from the police department, and anyone that would try to cover up this crime that was committed should also be also removed from leadership as the police. Beloved, I know this is hard because I have police friends not only in this state but in other states. And I know it's hard for you to hear what I'm saying to you. But I understand in some cases where policemen have the right of what we call justifiable homicide. But in this particular case, even the police report shows that everything from the time that he came on the street, even until the time he encountered this young man, was all on a misdemeanor crime. And a misdemeanor crime does not constitute the death penalty in this state. Furthermore, this policeman, uh, in his report, did not state at any time that Mr. Brown had any kind of weapon on him or any kind of act or showing of a weapon. So, and it's uh, in my opinion, is that and the opinion of the community that this was cold-blooded murder. And in this state, murder is chargeable by our judicial system as a felony. His badge should be removed, his gun should be taken, and he should be tried under the penal system of this state. We're calling as a community that us come together. It's time to heal, folks. It's time to stop the violence because that only perpetuates more problems and that we won't put an end to this situation. I'm not talking about second-hand information. I was there on the ground zero there myself. I was there standing across the street at the police department. I was also there at the Quick Trip, talking with the many of the community people that was there, and I witnessed the whole incident. I also got all of the reports from the different reporters that was there, and based on all of the information that has came out thus far, it does not constitute a justification of this young boy being murdered the way he was. And that this is a criminal act. Typically I respect the law enforcement. I respect the police. But in this case, I believe, and the community believe, and we as a people believe that this was wrong. This was clearly racial profiling. And secondly, it was also unjustifiable homicide. Even as Francis Slade said that he believes that the police officer murdered this young man, I agree in the same. Now, as for the minister that wants to say that we shouldn't protest, it is our legal right under the Constitution to protest anything that we feel that's unjust. I rather see, as a minister of the gospel myself, that the people will peacefully protest than for them to go and perpetuate the acts of violence with violence. It calls for ministers like us to stand up for what is right. The word teaches us to do what is right. And the law is for the lawless. And in this case, the police officer was truly wrong, and he has violated the young man's judicial rights when he shot and killed him in cold blood. One is that the reports was very clear when it says that there was an altercation with the police inside the police vehicle. But then the altercation pursued as the police got out and removed his sidearm and shot the boy in his back. When the boy turned around and gave his hands of surrender, at that time protocol and normal police procedure in a misdemeanor case was the police would handcuff the young man and take him to jail, not continually to empty his gun into the young man with multiple shots in his torso as well as in his face. I think this calls for immediate dismissal of this man's duty as a policeman, and that he is a bad example of an officer that does. There's many officers that does a fine job in the state of Missouri, but he are what we call the bad seed of the bunch. And I'm calling for our political leaders as well as the chief of police to save face and call it what it is. It is a crime, and it needs to be punished under the laws of this state. And I'm not getting this thing from secondhand. I was there. I heard it. I saw it, and I looked at the reports. I heard from the police chiefs. I heard the police chief's statement concerning the situation, and at the end of the day, this young man's life should not have been taken over cigars. This is the opinion of GHMI Fivefold Fellowship, and our prayers go out to the family, and it is my prayer that they will release your son so you all can begin to heal. To the community, it is time for us as clergymen to begin to become more visible in our communities, become more visible in our nation, become more visible in our political system. The laws talk about separation of church and state, but according to the Constitution, there was no written thing that says there was a separation of church and state. It only says that this country shall not make any laws concerning an organized religious group. So that is not a separation of church and state. And I believe that this issue, as it relates to this is a very clear message to us as clergymen and leaders that we must stand up in our community and make our politicians and those that are hired for the office to be accountable for what they do and the laws that they enforce. God bless you. Keep you is my prayer.